Good morning and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach. I'm glad to be with you. Glad you're with me. Um, thanks for being with me. Thanks for coming in every day and letting me be a part of whatever time of the day you listen to this. Anyway, I'd like to thank God for the opportunity to have this platform and to be here, and then also would like to thank my sponsors, Elmwood Custom Goods, and then Mortgage Financial Services and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. Without them, this all wouldn't be what it's becoming and what it is. So I'm thankful to them for their support and their help in this endeavor. Okay, I'm going to jump right in today and something that happened over the weekend, which is it's amazing to me what just the way reporting is different. It's just amazing to me the what I don't know. It's just amazing to me. So we have this guy in Colorado, Muhammad Solomon maybe, who lights a bunch of elderly Jews on fire in Colorado while shouting "Free Palestine." Then the police in Colorado come out and say, "It's too early for a motive." Do what? And then every report, even I was even watching, maybe it was Fox Business this morning, and they said, well, no, maybe it was last night. It was Fox News last night. And they're like, well, this is considered, these aren't extreme for what we would think of someone of the Islamic faith here. Okay, I'll give you that. Let's say I give you that. Why don't they report let a white Christian man do something and these Christians are hateful and these Christians hate people. But on this, we have to make sure and clarify, well, this isn't what we've come to expect. Okay, I will give you that premise. However, why is it different when a white guy does that? When a Christian guy does that? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, why do we try so hard not to offend every other religion? But if you're a Christian, it's just over. Except for the fact, we know as Christians that we'll be made fun of and murdered and everything else in the name of Jesus. We'll have glory on the other side for it. But it's astounding to me in a nation with free speech and freedom of religion that if if a Christian does anything, and look, they should be held responsible. But if a Christian, they're just a hateful Christian, but let a let a guy who's in our country illegally, who's a Muslim, light some elderly Jewish people on fire while yelling "Free Palestine," and we don't know the motivation. This is just a one-off. It's always a one-off. Every time you hear about it, it's just a one-off. It's just a one-off. It just gets all over me that it just gets all over me that's the way it's reported every time. And then if you go to Eric Doherty for a little common sense on X.com, he says, let's be perfectly clear. When a guy named Muhammad is shouting pro-Hamas rhetoric to a bunch of pro-Israel demonstrators and proceeds to throw a Molotov cocktails at them, it is radical Islamic terrorism. That's exactly right. Just call it what it is. We're not saying he represents every Muslim in the United States. But if there's ever such a thing as Islamic terrorism, lighting people on fire would be considered that. Everyone's too afraid to say it. And I said on here, my God, the God, Jesus, in the Bible, we are to speak boldly. We are to have compassion, and we are to love each other. We're to speak boldly. We can't be afraid to say what it is. And when a Christian does something wrong, we can't be afraid to talk about that either. But in a country of freedom and freedom of, speech, why are we so afraid? Yeah, I'll tell you why. You can go back to the Charlie Hebdo stuff years ago, and when they drew Muhammad, then they all got shot. When you make fun of Christians, we don't come and kill you over it. When you talk about Christians, we don't show up and threaten to murder you and your family. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Anyway, it's just just the reporting on it got all over me. Like, let's call it what it is, and let's move forward. Because without claiming what it is, we'll never be able to address the root cause of the problem. Right? We keep beating around the bush. We keep walking on eggs. We're never able to get to it. But that's what the media wants. That's where they want us. They don't want us getting to it. Anyway, I just wanted to open with that. And then over the weekend, moving on, there's these reports of these Ukrainian drones take out a bunch of Russian Air Force bombers. Convenient that happens right after Lindsey Graham leaves the Ukraine. Now, I'm not saying Lindsey Graham told him to do this, but I am saying Lindsey Graham and the war hawks and NATO countries, they're pushing for World War III. They're pushing for war with Russia. Because then we have to act. Then we have to come into line. Donald Trump's doing everything we can not to go to war. Now, did we report last week that he's strengthening the front lines with our troops? Yes. Is he preparing? Yes. But does he want peace? Obviously, yes. The Warhawks don't want us to have peace. The military-industrial complex doesn't want us to have peace. Look, honestly, where I am here in Texarkana, is it better for us if we have war? Yeah, we have the Red River Army Depot. If we're making bombs and sending them out, that's good for our local economy. And that's the joke. That's the whole thing. Who all's getting rich by us staying at war perpetually? It's not me. It's not most of you. It's not any of you that I know of, but I don't know all of you by far. But why do these war hawks continue to push us? What's Lindsey Graham even doing in the Ukraine? Why do these senators feel like they have to go and just insert themselves into everything? The Secretary of State, that's their job. Or really, it's whoever the president nominates and puts into that position. It's just wild. It's just wild. All right, let's move on. I don't have a lot today. We got the Jews on fire story. Paris right now. Paris, France, not Paris, Texas. Paris, France. Right now, it says this is from Dr. Malouf at X.com. Paris right now looks like a real war zone. Migrant gangs have been rioting nonstop, and it's time, and it seems they won't back down. Marie Le Pen then came out and said, hey, when we get back in power, we're putting laws back in place. We're going to have order back in. That's the thing about conservatives and conservatism. We want you to follow the law. We want everybody to be free. But when you bring in so many people, no matter if it's France or the United Kingdom or the United States, when you bring in so many people that won't assimilate, they don't follow your laws. They don't care about your traditions. They don't care about your cultures. We just need to wake up to it. And look, most of you listening have woken up to it. But we still have to talk about it. We can't be afraid to talk about it with our friends. We can't be afraid to say, hey, look, this is what's happening. This is where we are. If we can't talk about it, then what's it even matter if we know it? It's hard to talk about some of this stuff. There are days when I come in here and think, golly, I don't want to talk about this. Because it's not fun, and the looks you get from people and all that, but that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, the same thing's happening around the world where they've had illegal immigration and they haven't done anything about it. It's almost like it's a worldwide plan. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna move on. This is from This is at Rapid Response on X.com. This was Scott Bessent, the golly, what's he secretary of? Secretary Scott Bessent. He went on to Face the Nation, and he said, "Hey, when we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Inflation's lower." So, once again, everything that the media told you was going to happen with Donald Trump, oh, there's going to be rapid inflation if we do the tariffs. There's going to be rapid inflation. The economy's going to crumble. There's going to be war because no one will respect him. Yet, the only people pushing war, the only people hoping for inflation, the only people wanting a bad economy are the Washington elite. Or the global elite, for that matter. They're the only ones wanting this thing to fail. You know, I pray for our leaders anyway, but I just pray that Donald Trump and his team can do a quarter of what they're trying to do, because the whole world is against them. Like they say, it doesn't matter who's against you if you're doing what Jesus wants you to do. And I'm not saying that everything he does is what Jesus wants him to do. Don't get me wrong on that. But man, it sure seems like the world's against every step these guys make. It also seems like Donald Trump and his team are ahead of them on every step they make. So that's pretty good. So then there's this from the Federal Reserve. It's now predicting 3.8% growth in quarter two. What? You mean there's not going to be a recession? You mean all this stuff is starting to work? Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, Donald Trump hasn't even been in there 6 months yet. We have to give the guy some time. Much less 4 years. We gotta stick to our guns. We have to keep pushing pressure. We have to let these Republicans in Congress know that we expect these things to actually happen. Like today, there's supposed to be Doge cuts bill come out today into the House of Representatives. It's our job to call and let our representatives know that, hey, we want this to happen. We want these cuts. You have to, instead of them just saying, oh, well, we tried. We'll get it next time. There's only so many next times. There's only so many times you can just try. It's amazing to me that we keep falling for it. It's just wild. It's just wild, the lies that they want us to keep believing. And once again, thank God Elon Musk bought X, because without X, we wouldn't have a free flow of information. The other media companies are having to allow it because of X. Then you have Rick Santilli on CNBC saying that Trump has already cut the trade deficit in half. You can find that on Citizens Free Press on X, but it was on CNBC. You can probably find the article on their website. We've already cut the trade deficit in half? This is what we want. This is what we voted for. Yes, it's painful at times. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's doing the hard thing. Also, yes, it's worth it. It's worth it for you and me and our country and our kids. We just have to stick with him. We can't let the media continue to lie to us. We can't let them continue to just shove it down our throats and make us believe things that aren't true. We just have to make sure we're informed. And then, these tariffs, how they're going to hurt the economy. Volkswagen comes out and says, hey, we're going to make a massive investment in the U.S. They're going to start building more cars here, or building cars here. That's the point. Then that creates American jobs, right? You can see that at Benny Johnson on X.com. That creates America. This is the plan. We just can't continue to cower and be lied to, or if they're going to lie to us, just not believe it, right? This is the way it all goes. It's just wild. It's just a wild thing. But, anyway, the media's lying to us. We know it. We're making progress. We're doing good. The country's on the comeback. We just have to be here for it. And that's awesome. Then did you all see this last week? Maybe you did. Elon Musk, when he just hammers the New York Times, they're like, what about this and this about you? He's like, are you the same ones that pushed the Russia hoax that obviously never happened, that's been proven wrong? Like, why would we believe you? And that's right. We have to remember these people have lied to us from everything from the Kennedy assassination to everything forward. Right? If you didn't follow my old show, then we had an expert on a few times that has written many books or written a book and studied many books on the Kennedy assassination. You know, that's just showing that had more than one shooter, which is why I say that. They've lied to us about everything. All to benefit the power structure, all so that they can stay in power. We have to remember, it isn't even about being rich. That's just a result of power. The ultimate goal of our leaders, of the political elite, is power, is control. They want to control me. They want to control you. They want power over us. That's the goal. The money is a benefit, or maybe a benefit, but it's not the goal. The goal is power. So we just have to keep trusting God and then acting on what He trusts us to do. And then we have to stick with our plan. That's the thing. We can't, it's not working, we got to go back. Nope, that isn't right. That's what the Democrats are counting on. That's what the liberal Republicans are counting on. That's what the powers that be are counting on. That if they can slow this down, if they can put it into the courtroom so many times, if they can just keep suing Donald Trump, just keep having these activist judges step in, that eventually we'll just give up. They're just going to wear us down. Death by a million cuts. That's what they're trying to do. We have to keep slapping Band-Aids on that bad boy. We have to keep, not today, brother. We're going to push forward. And that's where we are. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a great Monday. I've got work to do. I'm sure you all do as well. Thank you for being with me, and I hope God blesses each and every one of you today.